G'day friends, welcome to Mermaid Day 11. My name is James, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today, you're going to be seeing one of my favorites. This one is the one I'm probably most proud of illustration-wise in all the mermaids I've done so far. There's a lot that I enjoy, but this one I think is right up there. It might take the cake. So enjoy this. It's actually inspired by Bao Pham on Instagram. I had one of his stickers. I actually have a whole bunch, but I went through my old sticker book the other day and I found one and I just popped it in my journal so that I could reference it and use that as inspiration for the piece. And I absolutely love how she turned out. I really like his work and I really love the kind of unbothered, very sultry, mysterious look of, they all look like porcelain dolls. It's so pretty. Go check out his work. I believe it's Baopham on Instagram, Bao Pham. Sorry if I'm butchering that. But yeah, great stuff. Love that. And this is the mermaid inspired by the sticker. So today is actually, oh, first of all, if you also hear lots of stuff, window is wide open because I need to air out this apartment. It just smells like bleach. I've been bleaching everything. I know it's not the best, but I don't know. My mum, when she cleaned, always used the most heavy industrial cleaners, and now in my life, I feel like something's not clean until I can smell the bleach on it. So it's airing out because it's obviously too much for me and it's obviously too much for the cats, but all the windows are cracked open. So there's an incredible breeze coming through, but it's probably going to be a lot louder than normal. Also, I'm washing a backpack. It's in the dryer. It's not even in the dryer. It's on the tumble cycle of the washing machine. So if you hear some clinking, clanking, I'm washing a few bags in there actually. Just wanted to clean them all out. Today's very much a cleaning day. I am not one to keep on top of my household chores. Actually, you know what? We will actually unpack that because I'm going to throw Steve under the bus here. It's totally different being married. My mum said, I'm pretty sure it was my mum, or I'm blaming my mum anyway. She said whatever you do in the first week of marriage becomes like the thing you end up doing. So Steve and I for the first week really didn't do anything, so that I didn't become the dishwasher and he didn't become the laundry guy, and I wasn't in charge of this. Ultimately over time, things have just become either or chores, and then other things we just kind of handle. I'll handle that, he handles that, and then some things we keep completely separate too, like laundry. I just keep my laundry separate because Steve had way too many rules about what he wanted washed with what, and I could never get it. Like, honestly, he changed it all the time. It would be a rule for a certain color and a certain fabric, but then he needed it. It didn't matter with that particular shirt because he wasn't too fond of that shirt, so that shirt particularly didn't matter, but the other shirts did matter. But how was I supposed to keep track of all that? So anyway, we separated laundry. We've always done that separate for, I think, ever since we got married, really. Sometimes we'll chuck each other's stuff in if he's like, oh, is there some space? It's gonna be really annoying with all that background noise, sorry. Just pretend you're here with me at my desk, there you go. Then we'll have a very realistic experience. So anyway, the laundry we kind of keep separate. That's why I got the bags in there right now. But I feel like when I used to live by myself, and albeit I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, I did live in like a cruise ship cabin or a small Tokyo apartment, like a studio apartment. I just feel like I kept everything much more put together and organized. Steve is the Tasmanian devil when he walks in the house. Everything is everywhere. Nothing really has a home. And he has this weird feeling, I shouldn't say weird because maybe that's normal to a lot of people, but he feels like he doesn't know where things go. Even if I say, like, just put it somewhere that becomes its home, he's not sure if that's its home, so he'd rather not put it there because what if it doesn't go there? But instead, we'll then leave it on the table as soon as you walk in the door. Like, we used to have a dining table. This place is too small to fit our dining table, so it's at the studio, but the dining table we had was actually just Steve's dumping ground. And to be fair, I liked it when it was all in one place, because now it's just everywhere. And I don't know, sometimes I will go and just do a clean sweep of everything, even all the things I typically wouldn't touch because it's Steve's responsibility. And I get in two minds about that. Sometimes I get really annoyed because I'm like, I don't want to do that. And the other thing, well, the thing that really annoys me is then he has to ask me where everything is. And I feel like it's where it should go. Like, your clothes are in the drawer. That's where they belong. And he just has to ask me first. Anyway, not to really involve you in my marriage life, but I just thought that, I thought that was an interesting thing about sometimes when I look at like my life, I'm always kind of reevaluating my life and how I'm living. I don't know if that's like a maturity thing or if it's just an age thing. Um, I think it's, I mean, really in the pursuit of joy and just enjoyment, fulfillment, happiness, all those types of things. I'm always kind of reassessing like what parts of my day I could make better or how I could live in a way that feels a little bit more natural for me to live. So things like I don't really do something unless I feel like I'm in the mood to do it is a choice that I made years ago that actually really benefits me. Some people cannot work if their desk is messy, but I can work if my desk is messy. And if I feel like cleaning it, that's when I lean in and just go with the feeling. Sometimes, weeks into it, something has to happen, like I'll force myself to do it. But for the most part, I really like being intuitive about a lot of the things that I do because it feels very natural, like a very natural progression of my day. It makes me feel happy. So I'm really like that. I'm not super regimented, but yeah, I could like sharing a space with someone and their ideas about how they live and organize and everything, and my ideas about how I live and organize and everything, and it just never has really matched up or synced up, just gets really frustrating. Because I don't want to feel like I'm doing it for him. I'm not his parent, so I won't be doing it for him. I'm also not his cleaning lady, so I won't be doing it. Well, I told him, I was like, actually, I will take money. You can pay me to clean. You'll just pay me whatever you would pay a cleaner to clean. Because I do a really good job. But yeah, all the other stuff, I make peace with it. But I do feel like, sorry, Steve, I do feel like I lived a much more organized and in a much more clean apartment when I was living by myself. He knows that too. And that's not true. He cannot say the same for himself. I make it sound like we live in an absolute pigsty. It's not. The other things that really annoy me too is like I have such gorgeous Christmas decorations, and when Christmas is over, there's so many empty spots around the apartment that I just feel like I want to fill with knick and knack and brick and brack, but I really don't want to. There's just more things to dust, and I kind of like having a cleaner open space, but it just feels a little bit empty because I love the way it looks at Christmas. I love Christmas in general. I was just saying the other day I could put a Christmas movie on and get excited. I know I'm not really supposed to watch them outside of Christmas. There's no rule about it, but my own feelings have changed over time, and now I really just get into it all the time. I'm super excited for Christmas again. But that's not what I feel like we should spend the whole video talking about. I have some good news. I actually can't tell you about it because it's one of those things that I can't tell you about, but an opportunity that I was seeking that I've had kind of I didn't even really know it was on my bucket list. I think I didn't want to put it on there because it was so 50-50 whether it would happen. I didn't want to feel like I hadn't achieved it. And like the opportunity comes around once a year. So I was like, I don't want to spend another year thinking I've got to achieve that. You know me, expectations below the floor. So I didn't say it was really something I had to do, but I had hope for it. I thought, I wish I could do that. I'm gonna work towards putting my best foot forward so that I can do it. And it happened. It happened yesterday. So the thing will happen in about a month, just over a month. I'm very excited, and obviously I'll share about it when I can. But that was really exciting. And because I felt like I'd actually worked towards it, it was something that I set as a bit of a goal. And it was so up in the air. I just feel like, how lucky am I? Very lucky. So that's good news. Sorry for being vague. Then, if it was all my info, I'd tell you. But it's not a me thing. And then the other information, in a bit more bittersweet, is today is my last day over at Knott's Berry Farm for Preserved, the stage show that we perform over there for the Boysenberry Festival. And that's really sad. I really have loved the experience. As it is, we were supposed to finish 2 weeks ago, but it got extended for an extra couple of weekends. Right in the beginning of the Boysenberry Festival, we did like 4 and 5 day show days. So that was a lot. We were doing a lot of shows back then. And then towards the end of the Boysenberry Festival, it was just weekends, and like the Friday, Saturday part of the weekend. So it has felt like it really, it felt like it started really strong and heavy. And then it feels like it like gradually, slowed down to this eventual end. So I feel like I've had time to kind of let it go from my schedule. But I mean, it's not even just that. I do love going there, and I love, obviously being employed as a dancer, wherever that is. I just really enjoy that. But it's so social, and I have so many friends there that I'm going to miss being around often. I used to go on these contracts and make fast friends with so many people, and we would have the most intense 6 to 9 months together and then really never see each other again. Social media was a great thing because it kind of kept us all connected, but realistically, like, I've had hundreds of people that I've become good friends with that live all over the planet, like in every single corner of the earth, and it just isn't very realistic to think that you could stay in touch with every single person, even if you love them so much. And that is absolutely the case with me. I love so many of my friends, but we just all also moved on to different things. Like, I wasn't even dancing for 7 years, and some people went and had, children and got married and had children and had a house somewhere, and other people are still dancing and going to have careers that are taking them to different parts of the world. So sometimes you do run into each other. In fact, Steve and I have just run into a friend who we haven't seen for years that we both worked with in Tokyo back in the day. And we do run into each other from time to time, and the best types of friendships there is the ones where you can just pick up where you left off, and no one's really saying, oh, sorry, I haven't kept in touch. Not that I'm bad if you do that, but honestly, I'll never really be that sorry that I haven't kept in touch, because it's just unrealistic. I've never been able to manage that. I never even really had a phone until 2017, and I never text anyone back. Like, it's just, I can't do it. I don't want to live like that. Pretend it's the 90s and you can't get a hold of me. I'll see you when I see you. But I feel like when I was on contract, that made sense because these were people from all over the world and we were just on an international contract together. So I had that in my head. Here has been so different because these are all people local to Southern California because we're working at these theme parks, and because I am in these shows that run seasonally, we're still around. Do I have tissue on my face? Or is just the light catching my beard? Sorry, distracted. We live close enough that we could actually see each other. My friend is 20 minutes down the road, but our schedules are just not lining up. Like, I have my work that I have to do here, which even though I can reschedule it for another time, I really have to be on top of the work that I have to do here because it just does not do itself. But then also, I'll be over at Disneyland 4 days a week, and so if my friend is off and I'm over there, it's like we have to give up the whole day of work to go and see each other, which we also don't expect that each other's going to go and do because, I don't know, there's just a difference about it. There's a different energy being employed as a part-time dancer and not a full-time contract. This is a part of my life that I go dip in and out of every day or, a few days a week now. Whereas before, the contract was my life for 9 months or however long it was. And I had fully committed to that for 9 months. People could be getting married, I wasn't going. People could be, there could be funerals, I didn't attend those. There was, a lot of the times, because if you left a contract, you couldn't come back. It was, just expected that you'd commit to the whole thing. So, varying levels of regret sometimes with things I missed out on, but it was very much a part of that life and that understanding that when you went on a tour of, you went on some national tour, there's just going to be things you missed out on. When you went on a cruise ship, there were going to be things that you missed out on, and those were the lives that we chose, and we really loved them irrespective. And most of our family members and friends were very understanding of the fact that we would not be around for certain things. But yeah, now it just feels really different because it just feels part-time. I haven't fully committed 9 months to being at Knott's Berry Farm with all these people and then expecting to never see them again. I commit 2 months, and it's only part of the week that I commit to, and I can see my friends because we both have cars. Like, that was the thing too. On a cruise ship, even if I pulled up to where you live, like I pulled into Sydney, my family isn't right at Sydney's doorstep at the port. Like, they've got to either drive to me or I've got to figure out how to get to them. Like, it just always felt so much more understandable why you wouldn't have that social aspect once your cruise ship contract finished or, in a contract world. But now as a part-time dancer, I don't even know why it's so much harder. It just is. So I don't want to harp on about it because I think I've said it enough, but I'm very grateful for the experience. I hope to be back at Knott's Berry Farm. I really don't have anything to do until whenever the next show comes out, and if I'm suitable for that, I'll go and audition for that. But I won't be there over the summer or anything, so I'll go and visit. I want to go and visit my friends. They do a show in the Birdcage Theatre that's like a can-can show, which I haven't seen before, but I really want to go and see it. It looks very intense. Looks like it would hurt my hips just to watch it, so exciting there. Knots has some really good it leads really good shows to be a part of as a dancer. I will say, you know, opportunities have really shifted in the world now. I think post-COVID, I think a lot of companies got very comfortable saying, well, we don't need to be offering as much entertainment as we used to because people will still show up either way, or our budgets are smaller, and understandably, you know, lots of companies took a hit that way. So therefore, we'll just have smaller offerings. But I also wonder if it's coming back. Like, will we ever see the type of entertainment I saw when I was going through theme parks when I was, you know, 19, 20 years old, where they were spectacles, like absolute spectacles of entertainment, and just full of performers, and there were contracts for so many different things. And you know, I do see it actually. I see some new types of contracts that exist that didn't used to. A lot of cruise ships now that are being built have solo cabins for most people, which is something that, you know, I shared a bunk bed cabin for so many years on cruise ships. It's a part of it, you accept it, but it really would be the thing you would change if you could change anything, just to have your own space to go back to. And that's why I loved the Disney Cruise Line contract. I did so much because I had my own cabin. And, you know, things like that, Virgin Voyages do that. And their show offerings are super unique, and I've never seen anything like that before on cruise ships. I really don't see much entertainment like that on offering at all. So, you know, it makes me wonder, like, what types of opportunities I'll be throwing myself into in the future. I'm always keeping an eye open and keeping my mind open as well. You know, I don't know if I'll go back to doing contracts. I don't know if that's something that I will end up doing, but I do think there are a few things that pique my curiosity and I would absolutely love to go and try. I also think there's this weird feeling I have nowadays that I never used to have, where I used to think I'm just going and it's going to be it, and I do it for 9 months, and I'll go and do another one for 9 months, and I'll go and do another one for 12 months, and I'll do another one. Now I have this feeling of, I'll go, I'll try it, if I don't like it, I'll come home. Which is so weird. That has never been me, and I guess I always had that. I had that ability. I could have always just gone if I didn't like it. But yeah, even the way I think about it changes now, and I think that has something to do with the fact that over time, and especially in the pandemic, but I more so felt this back when I had my accident, you know, when you've separated yourself and your identity from the work that you do, you also start to shift your feelings and your thoughts about the companies that employ you, and how much of yourself you actually give over to them, and why you do that, and how much they own you, or how much they can get you to do, or how much you are willing to give to them. And, you know, I think I've always kind of felt this way, but I feel like if you do right by people, and if you are, you know, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be giving them the most money in the world, you don't have to be giving them the best conditions in the world, you don't have to be giving, you know, the best opportunities in life, but if you do right by people, and you are upfront, and you are clear and transparent, and you are honest and integral, most employees feel very happy to give you their best efforts and to commit to things. And I definitely feel that way, especially over at Knott's Berry Farm. Like, I very much feel like, you know, that is an environment where I am just happy to go above and beyond, just because of the great experiences I've had there. And it's something that I feel like is interesting, because people say that millennials, I think I'm like right in the middle of a millennial, but they say that we have this, well, the younger kids anyway, the Gen Zers, say that we're like obsessed with work, or we're willing to do anything for our jobs, or, you know, we'll come into work even if we're not feeling well, or if we've got bad mental health days or whatever, we'll just come in and we're so committed to work. And I do believe we were trained that way, especially as dancers. Like, you just do it. You just go, unless you're injured, you're going and doing it, and you're committing to it. Because if you didn't commit when you're a competition dancer, like, they just take you out of the routine. You could be paying all those fees, all those costume costs. The dance teacher will just pluck you out of it. You're not going to commit to every single date. Don't be here then. Like, it was all or nothing. What is it with these cars? They're ugly cars too. Why are you souping up ugly cars? Like, granny mobiles with these exhaust pipes on them. Anyway, so I feel like now, whereas back in the day I felt like, well, I commit to the contract, so I'm doing 9 months of the contract whether I like it or not. And there have been contracts, none that I hated, but there were ones that I definitely felt like I could have left and it wouldn't have been the biggest thing. Could have just done half of that one. Nowadays though, I am not super willing to just put up with it if I don't like it. And I don't believe, I owe the commitment that I will go and that I will do it. I don't know, even then that just feels so random for me. Like, I feel like I should. Like, if I say I'm going to be there for 9 months, I'll do it. I just don't think I'm willing to sacrifice, my well-being or my happiness for a contract just to see it through to the end. So that's why contracts feel a little different for me now. And especially working part-time as a dancer, that actually feels a lot more liberating in the sense that if I just wanted to drop my part-time job, I could just do it and no one's really going to be that mad at me. Like, there's 100 other people that could step into my role. No one's going to care. So it's not as big of a deal here to just drop what I'm doing part-time or seasonally. But on a contract, it is a bit bigger of a deal. You might burn a few bridges doing that. But we'll see. I don't know, my opinions about that have changed. I still have great work ethic, don't get me wrong. I'm still willing to work. Excuse me, my nose. Listen to those lovely cars as I blow my nose. Oh, I can smell the bleach on my hands. I need to wash. I still have strong work ethic. I still believe in doing my best and doing a great job. Yeah, I just don't think... Because I was saying this to one of my friends who was on a contract and was saying that it maybe wasn't the best thing for them and, maybe they didn't want to keep going. And my instinct was to say, and I did say, if it's not good for you, then you can just leave. It's fine. Because my thought is, if it's not good for you, you're not going to want to go back and do it. So it doesn't matter if you really burn that bridge on the way out. You don't want to travel down that road again. So burn the whole thing down when you leave. No, do it respectfully, but some things aren't worth that. And then other times doesn't really matter if you care too much. If you've got bills to pay, you got to do it. So I guess I still am in two minds about it. But Knott's Berry Farm, the Boysenberry Festival will be closing for this year. I had a great time doing Preserved. Very energetic show. No breaks. Costume change, quick change. Bell kick. Slide to the ground. It's been so active. I think it's one of the most active things I've done since I've returned to dance. So my body, I think, has really taken well to it. I was really nervous in the beginning with all the jumping and sliding. That's a motorbike. I'll give an exception to the motorbike. The bonus is I've been shedding weight. Okay, now I'm over it. How do you get so much louder? It's getting louder as it goes. I'm convinced, I can't say what I want to say on here because I try to keep everything PG, but I'm convinced something in the vibration of that bike going like that is the reason that they keep getting those things to do that. And I'm just going to leave it at that. There used to be an ad campaign in Australia where when people would kind of rev up or speed past like bystanders on the road, the people that were looking would just raise their pinky finger and do this. And it was so funny, and my gran used to do that when people would do it. It was a full ad campaign, national ad campaign to kind of shame people who would speed or act recklessly on the roads. I don't even know how you would search that up on YouTube, but just do like Australian driving little pinky finger campaign or something. You'll find it. It's funny. Bring back public shaming. No, don't. Or do. I don't care. The last bit of information I guess I'll leave you with for today. I gotta go because I'm going to start getting very heated. Like I said, my body has taken very well to it and I have been losing a lot of weight, which is wonderful for me. I have actually been on that journey. I don't like to speak about it sometimes because I've spoken about these things in the past and then very heavily gone the wrong direction. And I will attribute everything to what is so frustrating and so annoying, and I hated hearing it. It is slow and steady. Someone told me years ago, I looked at a video years ago saying that if you want to do this properly and you really want to make this stick, it's going to take years. And so I think I've been on this for about 2.5 years now of this very slow journey where I am just making the teeniest, tiniest changes. I also don't restrict myself from having things that I want to eat. I still very much eat fast food and McDonald's and things that are very bad for me. I still sometimes... What do you mean sometimes? Like I just said, I still very much do things that would not be considered a diet. I don't think I've actually implemented a diet from the beginning of when I started this journey, but I would change things like I would just go for walks more often, because that didn't even feel like that was exercise. It actually just felt like it was clearing my head. I eat just a lot more fruit. I drink so much more water. I would invest in things that made the journey seem like it wasn't something that was just going to be for 2 weeks, or like it wasn't going to be temporary. So I would invest in like a more expensive water bottle so that I would carry it with me everywhere, because I'd want to get my money's worth. And so I would just end up drinking more water, and then I would buy nicer workout clothes so that I could feel better when I was working out. I felt like I actually cared. I almost had to kind of act and buy my way into caring. I would also make more effort to just go grocery shopping, because I noticed that whenever I had no food in the cupboards or on the shelves, that's when I made the worst decisions about what I wanted to eat. I tried to not leave eating for too long. Oh, there's 3 of them! I'm not going to talk about I'm not talking about it anymore. I have to go. This was all my fault. So sorry to do this on a video that I love so much. There's literally more coming. I'm losing weight. That's the moral of the story. Yay me. Goodbye, preserved. I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, happy Mermaid, day 11. Goodbye.